Imagine a man who spent his entire life sweeping floors and pumping gas. His neighbors in a small Vermont town saw him as a simple, humble worker. He wore an old denim jacket and drove a second-hand car. But when this man passed away at the age of 92, he left behind a secret that shocked the financial world. Ronald Read had accumulated a fortune of over $8 million. He did not win the lottery. He did not inherit a cent from his family. And he certainly did not have a high-paying career on Wall Street. He simply mastered the one skill that most people find impossible to practice. He learned how to do absolutely nothing. In a world that screams at you to move, to trade, and to react, Ronald Read chose to be still. He bought high-quality companies and held them for decades. He let the quiet power of time do the heavy lifting for him. Today, we are going to explore why your ability to sit still is your greatest financial asset. We will look at why the human brain is biologically wired to fail at investing. And we will reveal how a strategy called the coffee can portfolio can change your life. If you have ever felt the urge to sell when the market drops, this is for you. If you feel overwhelmed by the constant noise of financial news, you are in the right place. The truth is that the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Most investors quit too early because they mistake movement for progress. They believe that being busy means they are being productive. But in the world of compounding, activity is often the enemy of excellence. Let us begin by looking at a famous study that was conducted within a major investment firm. A group of researchers at Fidelity once looked into which of their accounts performed the best. They wanted to find the secret sauce used by their most successful clients. What they found was both hilarious and profound. The best performing accounts belonged to people who had died. The second best performing accounts belonged to people who had forgotten they even had an account. These investors were successful because they were incapable of interfering with their own growth. They did not check their balances during a market crash. They did not read the morning headlines and panic. Their inaction was their superpower. As we get older, especially for those of us in our 60s and 70s, time becomes our most precious resource. We no longer have decades to recover from massive mistakes. And yet, the irony is that the older we get, the more we are tempted to fiddle with our portfolios. We feel a deep need to protect what we have built. But protection does not mean constant movement. True protection comes from owning great assets and leaving them alone. Think about the concept of the coffee can portfolio. Decades ago, before the era of digital banking, people in the Old West would put their valuables in a coffee can. They would slide that can under their mattress and forget about it for years. The investment version of this is simple. You find the best companies or the most reliable index funds. You buy them with the intention of never looking at them again for at least 10 years. This removes the emotional burden of the daily market roller coaster. It allows you to ignore the volatility that breaks the spirit of younger, less experienced investors. Why is this so hard for us to do? The answer lies deep within our biology. For thousands of years, humans survived by reacting to immediate threats. If you heard a rustle in the grass, you didn't sit still and calculate the probability of a tiger. You ran. Our ancestors survived because they were masters of the action bias. In the wild, doing something was always safer than doing nothing. But the modern stock market is not a jungle. When the market drops 10%, your brain perceives it as a life-threatening emergency. Your heart rate increases. Your palms get sweaty. Your instinct screams at you to do something to stop the pain. This is the amygdala hijack. It is a biological trap that forces you to sell at the bottom and buy at the top. The media knows this about you. Financial news networks are not in the business of making you rich. They are in the business of keeping you glued to the screen. And nothing keeps a person watching like a sense of urgent crisis. They use bright red numbers and alarming music to trigger your survival instincts. They make you feel like every minor fluctuation is the start of the next Great Depression. But if you look at a chart of the S&P 500 over the last 100 years, the truth is clear. The market spends most of its time going up. The crashes are temporary blips in a long-term upward trend. By doing nothing, you are betting on human progress. By doing nothing, you are trusting that the world will continue to innovate and grow. Think about the cost of movement. Every time you trade, you pay a price. Sometimes it is a literal fee or a commission. More often, it is a tax bill that eats into your principal. And most dangerously, the cost is the loss of the compounding cycle. Compounding is like a snowball rolling down a mountain. At the beginning, the growth is slow and barely noticeable. But as it gets toward the bottom, the gains become massive. Most people quit the game when the snowball is still small. They get bored or they get scared. They stop the process just before the magic starts to happen. For those of you who have worked hard for 40 years, you are now entering the final stages of that mountain. The next 5 to 10 years of your life could be the most profitable years you have ever experienced, but only if you let the snowball keep rolling. Wealth is not built by being the smartest person in the room. Wealth is built by being the most disciplined person in the room. It is about having the emotional maturity to handle the boredom of a quiet portfolio. Charlie Munger, the legendary partner of Warren Buffett, once said that the big money is not in the buying and the selling. The big money is in the waiting. Waiting is an active choice. It is a display of strength and conviction. It means you have done your research and you trust your plan. Imagine your portfolio is like a beautiful garden. If you dig up the seeds every day to see if they are growing, they will die. A garden requires sunlight, water, and most importantly, the space to be left alone. Your investments are the same. The more you touch them, the more you damage them. This is especially true during a market correction. A correction is simply the market asking you a question. It is asking, do you really believe in the companies you own? Or were you just here for the easy gains? If you can answer that question with silence, you win. Many people ask, how can I be like Ronald Read? How can I find that level of peace? The secret is to change your perspective on what investing actually is. Investing is not a game of skill. It is a game of character. It is about aligning your actions with your long-term goals. If your goal is to leave a legacy for your children or grandchildren, why does today's stock price matter? If you don't need the money for another 5 years, why are you checking the news every hour? We must learn to disconnect our self-worth from the fluctuations of our net worth. The market will do what the market will do. You cannot control it, but you can control your reaction to it. You can choose to spend your time with your family, traveling, or enjoying your hobbies. You can choose to let the professional managers of great companies work for you while you sleep. That is the true meaning of financial freedom. It is not just about having money. It is about having the freedom from the worry of money. In the final years of your journey, your greatest gift to yourself is a calm mind. Don't let the noise of the world rob you of the peace you have earned. The most successful investors are not the ones who found the next big thing. They are the ones who refused to sell the great things they already owned. They understood that time is the ultimate filter. It washes away the weak and rewards the resilient. Be like the Tanda, the rock in the middle of a stormy sea. The waves will crash against you, but you will remain unmoved. Eventually, the storm will pass. The sun will come out, and you will still be there, stronger than before. As we conclude, I want to leave you with a thought to reflect on. If you had to choose just one single asset to hold for the next 10 years, what would it be? What is the one thing you trust so much that you wouldn't need to check the price even once? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Sharing your perspective helps us all build a stronger community of wise investors. And if you want to know which specific assets are built for this kind of long-term holding, stay tuned. In our next discussion, we will explore the concept of the forever portfolio. We will look at the specific types of companies that have survived for a century and are built to survive another. Until then, remember that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is sit still. Thank you for your time and your trust. Take a deep breath and let the power of patience work for you. Everything you have built is secure as long as you remain the master of your emotions. Keep the faith and keep your eyes on the horizon. The best is yet to come. This content is provided for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. Your journey is unique, and your strategy should reflect your personal needs and risk tolerance. Be patient, stay wise, and enjoy the peace that comes with the art of doing nothing.